Breaking news just minutes ago. The Houston Texans are releasing star defensive end J.J. Watt. Watt asked the team to release him on Twitter just after 9 this morning, and the two sides mutually agreed to part ways. Watt was drafted by the Texans 11th overall in 2011. He's accumulated over 100 sacks, more than 500 tackles, and 25 forced fumbles. Watt immediately becomes a free agent, and the new NFL league starts March 17th. Here at home, the St. Bonaventure men's team sits atop the Atlantic 10 standings, a half game in front of VCU with a pivotal matchup in Richmond, again against the Rams later tonight. The Bonnies return to the national stage. You can catch tonight's matchup on ESPN2 at 7 p.m. But to stay ahead of the rest of the pack, Mark Schmidt's bunch had to get through a pesky LaSalle team Tuesday night. That, despite coming in with a sub-500 record, had knocked off the top 3 teams in the A10 preseason poll. Plenty of fireworks in the first half, but it was LaSalle's head coach Ash Howard stealing the show. Tied at 24, the Explorers' Christian Ray went up for a shot, appeared to be fouled, but no call was made, and that's when Howard blows his lid. Ejected from the game and getting his money's worth. He said afterwards he was hoping to light a spark under his team, but it did the exact opposite. Kyle Lofton teased up a 3 to give the Bonnies a 10-point lead going into the locker room, and they didn't let up in the second half. Jalen Attaway scored a team-high 20 points as he goes up and under for the finish and the foul. St. Bonaventure throws up a team-high 86 points in their win over the Explorers. Aside from the efficient shooting day, Mark Schmidt felt his team's ability to capitalize on Howard's ejection was the difference maker in the game.
Stuff like that gives you some momentum, but at the same time, you got to maintain that momentum. And I thought we did that. Going in up 10 at halftime was big. Basketball it's all about momentum, and sometimes when you give it up, it's hard to get it back.
To 10-2 on the year with the 86-73 win. Speaking of momentum, they'll look to build on Tuesday's performance against VCU later tonight. With the success of the team, of course, comes the buzz around a potential run to the NCAA tournament. Our Grace Foley spoke last December with Ladarian Griffin for an edition of SBU-TV Sports' Saturday Sit-Down. Griffin, a member of the last Bonnies team to make it to the big dance, shares some more moments from his memorable career.
Here's the alley-oop to Ladarian Griffin.
With his high-flying jams and ability to send the Riley Center into a frenzy, it didn't take long for Ladarian Griffin to feel right at home at St. Bonaventure.
It was a great experience. I played with a lot of guys that became lifetime friends. Having an amazing student section during the games was something every college player kind of dreamed of. And playing for Smith, it was tough probably as a freshman coming in, and then you kind of start learning discipline and hard work.
Bonnies fans have grown accustomed to the tremendous success this decade, but few teams compared to the 2017-2018 squad that beat UCLA in the first 4 of the NCAA tournament. Griffin, a junior at the time, remembers just how special that group was.
Just throughout that year, experiencing all those amazing things, you kind of don't take it for granted. Just that fight that we had as a group kind of showed that when things got tough, we kind of beat them. We wanted to prove that not to count anybody out, and that if you work hard, that it doesn't matter. As soon as you step on the floor, you can beat anybody.
Although one might think it'll be hard to live up to the precedent made by that team, Ladarian Griffin thinks highly of the team Mark Schmidt has acquired.
I think they can win the A10 and make the tournament. They're really talented. The one thing that you can't account for, especially in college basketball, is experience. And they have a lot of experience with last year. They have a lot of guys coming back. And they added size and they have depth this year. So I really think they're going to do really well this year.
There's still a ways to go for the Bonnies in the regular season. But right now, they're living up to Griffin's expectations. For SBU-TV Sports, I'm Grace Foley. New, now, next.
Switching gears to the women's side, Jesse Fleming's squad is in Virginia tonight as well, but they'll be taking on the George Mason Patriots before visiting George Washington on Sunday. The brown and white found their stride earlier this week with a 2-game sweep over the Davidson Wildcats. The women will face the Patriots at 6 p.m. tonight and the Colonials at noon Sunday. Both games will be shown on ESPN+. A quick update on the NHL COVID-19 outbreak. As of Friday, 34 games have been postponed, with almost 100 players added to the league's COVID protocol list. The NHL enlisted new protocols including POC testing, reconfigured seating, and ventilation on the bench and penalty box. The Buffalo Sabres currently have 9 players on the protocol list, including head coach Ralph Kruger. The Sabres have resumed practice and they're scheduled to host the New York Islanders Monday at 7 p.m. From the ice to the gridiron, Britt Reed, Kansas City Chiefs assistant linebackers coach and son of head coach Andy Reid, was placed on leave Wednesday night, a result of Reed's involvement in a car crash last week that injured 3, including a 5-year-old girl, who remains in critical condition. Reed is currently under investigation by the Kansas City Police Department and the NFL amid suspicions Reed was impaired behind the wheel that day. In advance of tonight's primetime matchup with the Rams, we took it back to one of the more memorable matchups between these two teams for SBU-TV Sports' trivia question. During the 2016-17 season, the Bonnies lost an overtime battle to VCU 83-77. In that game, which Bonnies player knocked down a then-record 9 3-pointers? On February 4th, 2017, Matt Mobley scored a game-high 34 points and went 9 of 15 from deep. Congratulations to Daniel Geyer for sending in the first correct answer. Geyer is now a 4-time SBU-TV Sports Trivia champ. Be sure to follow us on all our social medias to show off your Bonnies knowledge when the SBU-TV Sports Trivia returns Tuesday, where Daniel Geyer will look for his 5th win. Are you up to the challenge to take the title? We'll see you next Friday.